Thank you very much for stopping by, checking out my channel. Crypto TNT here. Let's get started. You have decided that you're going to go with mining instead of buying a coin. So, some questions that only you can answer. Do you have space? Do you have required power? Do you have at least one 20 amp circuit breaker available somewhere? What's the cost of your electricity? That's definitely a big one. That's kind of like one of the biggest ones, because we all know some states like electricity is like 8 cents. Other states you're looking at 35, even 40 cents kilowatt, which definitely adds up. You definitely have to consider that starting out. If you're still ready to start mining, we're just going to use Amazon, for example, just to show you certain things. You can see that right now it's not very easy to buy motherboards or put the mining rigs together without spending. I would say if you're looking at maybe $3-4 profit a day, you're probably looking at around $1,000 investment. You're looking at around 400 days, give or take, to get return on your investment, depend on your electrical power cost. If you go to search engines, you take a look at the motherboard, there's a lot of mining motherboards. So you're going to type in mining motherboards and you will see that some off brands, for the most part, you can pick them up at a decent price, but then if you run into issues, there's a good chance you won't be able to troubleshoot it easily. And also right here you're looking at the DDR3, a little bit older memory, not very efficient if you decide to do a CPU mining at the same time. Decent motherboard, BioStar, probably one of the kind of best deals if you decide to go with a mining motherboard and not just a normal motherboard. So right here you're looking at $300, give or take. AM4, now my personal opinion is that you should try to go for Intel motherboard 1151 or LGA 12 sockets, because CPU prices are a little bit more affordable if you are going for GPU mining rig. If you're actually planning to do a CPU mining rig at the same time as the GPU, then definitely AMD AM4 socket is a winner, because they have a lot more cores for a lot better price. And then if you look at Raptorium, Monero, or any of the other CPU mineable coins, you can see that those processors are definitely going to work out. They're not going to make as much as GPU, but you have to understand you are already mining with that motherboard, double dipping on that motherboard and the CPU. We went to a search engine, looked around there, and a lot of people will tell you this motherboard right here is outstanding. The problem is this motherboard used to be around $130, $140, I would say 4 or 5 months ago. Right now, you're looking at $250. So double the price. It's a great motherboard. I have one, but I definitely would not pay $250 for it. So we gotta look into some of the other options. My personal preference is probably to stay with a little bit smaller motherboard, 6 to 8 to 9 GPUs. The normal gaming motherboards will definitely do. I mean, look here. Asus Mining Expert, very good motherboard, supports 19 GPUs. The problem is you can't buy it new and the prices are just ridiculous. For this price, you're looking at buying 10 normal motherboards. 10 normal motherboards are going to support at least 60 cards. Now, some people might say, well, what if I decide to go and use HiveOS and they charge you by a rig? Let's face it, any GPU that you have, HiveOS charges you $3 per month per rig. So those $3 you can make in 2 days, even on the lowest end card that you're using to mine. But having convenience of HiveOS or any of the other mining operating systems, it's very nice that it lets you, hey, one of your rigs is not doing what it's supposed to, it's dropped out, you're pretty much losing money anytime that happens. And it's very nice and convenient that you can just remote into your rig, restart it, update drivers. But not to make this too long, let's go and take a look at something else. Let's see if there's any other chips that you're looking at. Will be Z390, Z370s, Z490s, Z590s. Now you have to understand, depending on which motherboard you select will depend which CPU they support. What I am going to actually show you is I'm going to show you motherboards that will work, and they are more affordable than any of the above mentioned chips. Let's just see what they have for Z390P. So this is the one that we have already seen before. You can probably get it renewed or used for $199, which is still not a great deal. Z490, $160, but if you switch to Z490, then you're looking at a different processor that you have to get, and you're still looking at paying $170, $180. So which is not too bad, but I think we can do a little bit better. We are going to see what they offer for B560 or B460 socket. Here it is, almost exact same prime quality ASUS. It has 2 less PCIe lanes, but it will still support 6 to 8 GPUs, because what we can do, we can use a PCI 1X splitter to 4 USB. Price a little bit better right now. You're looking 130. If you go to some of the different websites, for example, eBay, sometimes even Newegg, you look for sales, you can probably pick up this motherboard for around $80, $90. This is a great motherboard, great brand. You definitely have different options. 120 for the motherboard. So let's take a look at some of the LGA 1151 CPUs. This one is a no brand motherboard, comes with probably Celeron CPU, Pentium G, dual core, good. Well, we are going to look at Pentium Gold CPUs. Pentium Gold CPUs, they're very efficient. They're not great for CPU mining, but right now we're going to focus on GPU mining mainly. So if you take a look, pretty expensive. This CPU should have been around $80, $70, $80, but everyone wants it, so here we are, $158. So let's see if there's anything else. They have gold, so let's see. G54, 1151 used, you can buy for $99, which is still not a great deal. Probably pick it up on sale, and if you can get it, this is actually the CPU that I have. It is a very good CPU, had no issues with it. This is actually for the expensive motherboard. We are going to look at LGA CPUs for 1200 version. Right here, Core i3, pretty good as CPU, but not as good as the gold versions when it comes to efficiency, because they have reduced power. 6405, 116, G6400, $132, $120 for the CPU. We keep rolling down the line. Next big component that you're looking at will be your power supply. Now, when it comes to power supplies, you have a lot of options, and one of the most noticeable options that you can actually go with is to actually go with a very small power supply with around 350, 400 watts, just to run your motherboard and your CPU and maybe one of the smaller GPUs, and then you get the server power supply to run all of your cards, which works really good because power supply 1200 watt server is going to probably run you in between $80 and maybe $130, while the same power supply platinum efficiency, if you just wanted to buy a desktop power supply, you're probably going to be looking over $250 at least, get a decent brand. This is a little bit more complicated to set up and everything else, but you can definitely get those two power supplies to work in conjunction with each other. Plus, you have to understand it's a server power supply, so it's a lot better quality. It will last a lot longer. It is a little bit on the louder side, but we're building a mining rig. It's going to be loud, especially in summer when fans are rolling 60, 70, 80%, 100% even. During winter, it's not too bad. Most of the fans will be running 40, 50% and keep your cards cool. If you decide to go with a server power supply, you will have to start looking into a breakout board. Now, the big thing with the breakout boards is that you have to make sure that your breakout board matches the power supply that you're buying. Might be simple, but there's so many server power supplies out there, so many designations and everything else. You might even look into the bundle, because you will definitely need some cables, 6-pin, 6+2 pin for your PCIe card. And now we're going to take a look at memory. So far we have spent around $300 for rest of the components. You're looking at DDR4, 3200 or 3600. 3200 is a little bit more affordable. You can either go with 8 gig stick or 216 gig for 2 rigs. If you want to go if you want to do CPU mining, you definitely want to go with the 16 gigs. It'll definitely increase your profits. On sale most of the time, you're looking in between $40-50 for 16 gigs. So let's just make it a $25 spend. Next component we're going to look at will be a solid state drive. You definitely can get away with something very small, 120, 240, 256 gigs. You can buy a cheaper flash drive, but they're not as reliable as a solid state drive. You can even go with M2 drive, but you gotta be careful because you're limited with the PCIe lanes that you will need for your graphics cards. So SSD, $20-30. Sometimes you can even find them under $20, and they'll be a lot better than trying to get a flash drive, unless you're running a dual boot system on your gaming machine. Next component we're going to take a look at will be risers. You will need them if you're using a frame. You can definitely get away with the 1-2 GPU setup without risers, but as you start kind of getting 4, 5, 6 GPUs, it's definitely easier to manage, especially since you're planning to use PCI X1 to a 4 USB card price. You're looking around $50 for a pack of 6. I would definitely stay with like Ubit brand or a couple of the other better brands. Don't forget to click, if you're buying on Amazon, to click on a coupon code that will give you 5, 10, 15% off. Look at 8 capacitor versions if possible. 4 are good, but 8 is better. You can definitely take a look at eBay also for them. There's definitely a good deal. It's all brand new, fast shipping. So far we have spent $350. Right now we're going to take a look at mining frames. You don't necessarily need a mining frame right away. You can actually even buy a cheap shelf from IKEA or something like that to get by. You can use your gaming case, but for around $50, $50 to $100, depends if you want a 6, 8 GPU, 12 GPU setup, you can find the decent frames. Once again, don't forget to click on coupon 5-10%. Definitely helps out in a long run. You can definitely try to buy used frame. You can build your own. Bigger frames will definitely cost you around $100, which is not too bad. Frame that I currently have is a 9 GPU, but I'm only planning to put in between 6 to 8. Gives a little bit of space in between GPUs. I think my frame costed me around $60. Shipping was pretty fast. Can't complain about anything. Next component is definitely optional. It's just a couple of case fans, 120 millimeter, 200, 240 millimeter, whatever you can get your hands on. Doesn't really matter. You want to try to keep a cost low, so you're looking at maybe $20 for a pack of 3, $20 to $30 pack of 3 to 5. If you buy a frame, most frames will support 4 120 millimeters. Then you can definitely take a look at the fan controller too. You can pick that up for around $10. I would definitely pick up a tube of thermal paste, because whatever comes with the CPU might not be the highest quality. So you just want to kind of get used to all of those things, since you'll be changing thermal paste and pads on your GPUs almost on a yearly basis. So far, we have spent around $500. If you look for sales, if you buy used things, you can definitely pick everything up for around 300. There's already a pre-builds and bundles, and all the components that we talked about, they are needed. But now it's time to talk about heart and soul or a whole operation. We have talked about GPUs because that's actually what's going to be mining and making us money. Here, we're going to have to take a look and see where we can find deals. So far, your best bet, if you're looking at the new cards, would be Best Buy drops for Founders Edition cards. Newegg Shuffle prices a little bit above MSRP, but you can definitely get lucky. I think I've bought 2 cards so far, or got lucky 2 times to get 3060 Ti and 3070 Ti from Newegg Shuffle. If you have a Micro Center close by, they do have a decent deals. Prices for cards have been dropping in the last couple of weeks, just because of uncertainty what's going to happen when proof of stake goes into effect for Ethereum. A lot of people think no coin is going to be profitable. Me, on the other hand, I think there will still be a profitable coin, and I am going to continue mining. If nothing else, instead of buying coin, I'll try to mine and then see how it all works out. If it gets really bad, then I guess we can always shut down and wait for better times. But considering that my electricity is only 8 cents a kilowatt, I think I should be doing pretty good. I have also been slowly trying to get more efficient cards like 6600 AMDs. They can be bought for a decent price. Right now, you're looking at, even without sales, you're maybe looking at $450, which is still a bit much, but I think in maybe a couple of weeks, we might see them drop down to like 350, 379. Those cards are currently mining around 85, 86 cents a day, which is not too bad. And I think they only use, let's see, out here, I have a couple of those. Well, right now I have one, but one should be in the mail pretty soon. So it's using 46 watts and it's mining around 29 mega hashes, and my overclocks are nothing crazy. It just, as you can see, the card is running very cool and everything else, and fans are only running at 40%. I will start overclocking those once I get a couple more. Goal is to actually have a rig for AMD cards and a rig for NVIDIA cards, but for right now, I'm just going to keep building them up. I'm probably going to put 2, 3 more in this frame, and then maybe build a second frame and separate them. As you can see out here, you're looking at, I'm mining actually Ethereum on AMD card, and I'm mining Flux on everything else. So this is my old GTX 2600, which is mining around 36. As I said, overclocks pretty much almost nothing. I'm more going for efficiency, 120 watt. It's very close to my 3060 Ti, but 3000 series are not as efficient on Flux as 2000 or 1000 series cards. If you go to Best Buy and take a look at some of the Founder Edition cards, they're still holding the old price, which is good, and you do have a chance to be able to buy some of those cards. Takes luck, but if you can get like a 3060 Ti, they're very efficient cards. They're very good cards, and the price is great. Like just say this card, any other brand, eBay or anywhere else, if you have to pay a scalper price, you're looking at around 600, 650, even $700. 3070, you're probably looking around 7, 8, and $900, but you can pick it up Best Buy 499 plus tax. Let's say that it's 10%, so you're looking at the 550, which is decent price compared to everything else. Even cards on eBay, Facebook Marketplace have been dropping lately. You can pick up RX 580s for around $250, $300. 1000 series cards, they have also been going down in price. Take a look at the Newegg Shuffle every day. You can register if you're in US, and then see if you can get lucky. You can save some money. It's still a little bit over MSRP, but you can definitely get it at a lot better price than what you would have paid anywhere else. Like, for example, a few days ago, I picked up one of the RX 66. As I mentioned before, it's a very efficient card, uses only 4650 watts and makes around 86. I think if I overclock it, I can probably get close to $1 a day, which is not too bad, because as the coin profits drop, if your electricity is cheap, those cards could still be profitable even when everything else is not, and sometimes on sale, which was a few days ago, I think, when I managed to pick up this exact card for $429 and shipping, so it ended up $439. Thank you once again, and if you liked what you've seen so far, heard, please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below with information what you would like to see, any problems that you might run into, and I will also post a couple of the links for Discord channels that I'm usually on, kind of trying to help people out troubleshoot their rigs. Stay safe and healthy, and until next time, Crypto TNT out.